and that's why the Man podcast exists. We let that negativity in, but that's why having good friends around you is important. I think we've worked so well together and we've learned in that way is because you also feel the same. Like, I've seen your love language is quality time.
Yeah.
And
clown and whatever. But he adds such a care factor to me in my life to show, like, his care for his friends. So I'm like, okay, cool. But I'm just going to wait for my opportunity because I know I was told that the team that I played with, there was a Tats in it. And I remember playing the first game. It was a praise game. And Tats was in my team. And welcome back to another one. It looks weird, I know. White man. The guy that is normally here in this seat is actually being lazy. He told me he's tired. He told me he doesn't care. He's showing me a middle finger right now. I standing behind the camera. Tat said that he didn't care. He doesn't care anymore. He's got no care factor. He's got no love for you, but I'm here for you. Remember we spoke a few episodes back about the love and the care and making sure things happen. That's what we're doing. I had to hire in. True. I had to find another man with love for the viewers. So as we said, welcome back to another episode of the Man podcast. We find you in very good spirits today. Thank you to our proud sponsors. We appreciate you, Revolution Apparel. You guys have been great. So if you guys need to find anything with regards to custom clothing, sports clothing, anything with to do with that, that is where you want to be. If you need something sort of done for a family, for a friend, they can probably help you out too. I know they went to Comic-Con last year. They went to Comic-Con and did some amazing stuff. So if you need to look anything into that, please look there. So now you've got a strange man, shaved face, little baby. This is the Tryston. This is the man behind the voice of the podcast last week. Tryston, welcome.
Oh, thanks, Rudi. It was a fantastic little intro you have there, especially about Tats. I mean, I'm just having a look at him now. He's laughing.
No care factor.
It's a problem. And, we're in another man's house doing another man's job. It's almost wrong, but for you guys, we'll do it.
How things have changed.
How the turntables.
Table turn?
No, how the turntables. The Office. Michael Scott.
Turntable. Okay, so I thought, we didn't even have a topic of conversation because, Tats he failed.
He dropped us.
He dropped the ball like he does in cricket. He's dropped us.
I dropped the ball in cricket too. It's okay. You're allowed to drop the ball when you play cricket.
He does.
It really is okay.
No, you do that.
No, but it's okay. Don't worry.
Anyway, I thought he told us what to have a conversation about, and I thought, it might be a good understanding to talk about a relationship like what we have. And to go into a bit of depth, I know Tristan spoke about it and sort of where we met and how things happen. And, things happen for a reason and whatnot. But I thought a good topic of conversation would not necessarily be how we met, but the impact. So the impact that you've had on my life, the impact I've possibly had on your life, and what has changed. Where were we when we met? Where are we now? What do you plan? How have I influenced your plans of where you're going professionally within a relationship? I know his missus is not always happy that I'm here, but I have him here. But Kelly, I love him too, more than you.
Oh,
okay.
He always says that. Don't worry.
And I also made a promise. I made a promise actually before we arrived tonight. My promise was to my daughter.
Okay.
So Dakota, my baby girl, my bozo. Hello, my baby. I love you lots. This is proof that Daddy loves you because I had to show it on TV. That Daddy says hi.
Oh, that's cute.
Okay.
Shame, that's cute.
So Trist, I want you just to give a little recap where we met, from your position where we met, because your memory is better than mine is. Where we met. What did you first think of me? Then I will follow suit.
Okay, cool. So I first met this strange white man next to me 2019, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. This is your story.
It was just before COVID. I'm bad with years. I'm good with remembering what happened, but really bad with dates and years. So met him when I was in my second year. I went through to where he worked, and I was going through my teaching practicals. I was meant to be shadowing their head of sport and PE, who actually ended up being a head of sport, PE person, and computers and admin and everything. But I went through with a friend of mine, and the two of us went, and the first day we get there, it's a very small school, very near to where I live. And I get there, and there's this boot around. You know, four-ways boots. If you ever heard of one, Exhibit A. Okay, there's a four-ways boot. And we see him walking around there. Oh, bro. Oh, yeah, lekker, bro. Talking to everyone, And I go speak to the principal because that's who I was told to meet up with. At the time, it was a different person than that's there now. Spoke to them, and they were like, no, you should look for this guy. His name is Rudi. I'm like, okay, how would I know who this Rudi guy is? They say, look for the guy that's not dressed smart. Okay? And guess who wasn't dressed smart? The boot. It's true, though. So I go and I meet up with this Rudi guy, introduce myself, and it sounds like a good oak. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. At that point, I'm 19, 20. I don't have any interest in who this guy is. He's there to sign my papers and let me leave. And then from there, we started chatting, found out he really loved cricket. Didn't know much about football. That hasn't changed too much, but...
The abuse. Carry on. No, carry on.
So, no, absolutely love
This is your
cricket.
This is your time. It's coming back.
I know it's coming back, but this happens every day. I get a chance. So it happens every day that he does it to me.
Just talk.
I'm talking to them. They need context. Without context, there is no clip. Okay. So we need to understand now at this point. So we start talking, and my mate who I was with really was a cricket fan as well. Much more so than myself. I love cricket, but kind of fell out of love with it at around 15, 16. And I've always loved football, so that became my main sport. So then I thought I was always third wheeling with my mates and Rudi, and they were talking about cricket, whatever, but things kind of went well. And then it was just kind of normal. Then one day I decided to prank him. We put some rubber ducks everywhere in his car. And then from there, it kind of seemed like that brought us together more so than it actually pushed us apart as some people would think. And yeah, then from there, we became really good mates, and I'll carry on later when there's...
No. I want to know where it goes to. So that's where we met, okay?
So that's where we met. We met there, and you were a bit of a boot. Oh, at least I thought he was a boot. Now remember, don't judge a book by its cover. Unfortunately, I judged the book incorrectly.
Okay, now let me tell you the truth. So there was this really, really arrogant youngster that had no clue. I let you talk.
But don't lie about
I let you
me.
talk. Shh,
Don't
mute
lie
his
about
mic.
But he's lying.
Okay, so I met this youngster. He was now supposedly going to be doing his teaching prac. I had an idea that there was someone arriving for me, I was told. And then this typical, really typical ticks of nicks, Oak walks in with his mate. And they think they run the school. They think they run the show. And then it wasn't necessarily a Joe Boot that arrived. It was the man in charge, It was what I am. It's just what I did. And I took him under my wing as I did, as the mentor I am, as the leader, the caring. I opened my radiant wing and I nestled him close. And I made him the man that he is today. And that's actually how it happened. So if it's for honesty, that's how we became close. And then again, I sheltered him from the storm that is the scary place of the world of work, and got him a job where he is with me now. And I still protect him like he is my own. And that's how we met. You believe me, right? He nodded.
I don't think anyone believes you.
Anyway, so now that we've told you the background of how we met, the rest is a bit of history. And jokes aside, I think you said in the podcast last week that things happen for a reason. And I can honestly say that COVID taught me a lot of things. COVID sort of, again, it pushed people apart, and we spoke about this last week. It pushed people apart, and it did unfortunately push people away. some people I thought I was going to be friends with forever. That was my circle.
Yeah.
That sort of completely diminished. And not for the bad. I think they grew and I grew, and we obviously just took different roads. And for some reason, we were both on the same road that, went in a similar direction. And as much as I don't want to make you have a big head, I do appreciate you as a person. I'm not looking you in the eyes when I say that.
Why not? Guys, you should look people in the eyes when you show them
Tryston?
appreciation.
Tryston, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, man.
I don't appreciate that. I've got to abuse someone. Okay, so I appreciate Tristan today. And yeah, like I know going back to sort of where I wanted this episode to go is to understand the mindset that I was in and what COVID did and sort of how our friendship grew and what it did for me is you put a lot of context into how I valued a friendship. A lot of the time, and you've said it to me millions of times, is we'll go out and Rudi, you say, Rudi, don't pay, or Rudi, you're not getting this one, and through all my years of having friends, I was generally one of the ones that sort of paid, and not because I was trying to force money or because I was rich or anything like that. I did it because it's what happened, and I felt that's what I had to do to maintain the friendship. And it could be a bad thing to feel that that's how I had to maintain a friendship. But it wasn't like that with you at all. Now we will rock up somewhere. We say we're going to go for lunch. We can say we're going to the movies. There'll be times I give you my card. You just pay. You pay sometimes without even letting me know. And that simple gesture showed me so much more to say that there's more to friendship than what you do for one another. Sort of buying stuff, paying for the food, going out. And not only that, you were one of the very few, I'd say probably the only friend that I've had in many, many years that will come to the house. I can legit leave you at the house and sort of take my daughter to the shops if I need to. I've done that many times. And you're like, cool, cheers, you've house sat for my house when I've been away. You come to the house and sometimes we'll just sit watching the sports and not saying anything, or we'll literally turn off the TV in the lounge and talk about managing a team. And if you had to, I think we did it last night or the night before.
When Portugal played,
we spoke about
cricket.
We did a football team of youngsters, then we talked about legends, and then we did create a cricket team. Who plays where, if they have to play all three formats. And I think the connection, and that's where I want to get to, is the connection that we've had in this short space of time. For me, has changed my complete view of a friendship, because they say a great friendship takes so long to develop, but I completely disagree. The friendship that we have, I value it more than possibly many of the other friendships I've had in my life, and it's just happened. I mean, you're part of the family. My daughter calls you Uncle Tristan. When she says, who's in the house, who do you love? She goes, Mommy, Daddy, Granny, Grandpa, Auntie April, and Uncle Tristan. And that's where it stops. So that friendship that you've created, in essence, become part of my family, my tight circle, has shown me a lot more about the value of a friendship and what a friendship can bring to the table. I mean, we've spent Christmases together already. I think we've done New Year's. We probably have done a New Year's.
The New Year's that you were here, I was away.
Oh, yes.
And you were away last New Year's.
Oh, yes, you were at the house.
Yes.
So we've done birthdays together. We've done occasions together where there's different other people in my house. My mom, my dad, my sister. Tristan's been there. I mean, he comes for dinner. So it's just that friendship that was created for me that showed me a lot more value, and also value in myself as a person. He's shown me that I don't need to put on a facade. I don't need to try hard. I don't need to, be the best batsman in the cricket team. I don't have to be... But I am.
He caught the side gesture.
But I don't have to, do all the things and spend money and whatever to know that I've got a friend that truly cares for me. That if I had to phone at 2:00 in the morning, I'm in crap, something's happened, I know you'd be there.
We've done that.
If you'd wake up. Yes, we have.
It wasn't because of you, but we've done that.
So that's what it means to me. I don't know, like if you can share from your perspective, I don't know if it's a similar situation.
No, I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, so from my side, and I appreciate everything that Rudes has said. I think if I can explain a little bit about like my part in that and like how I behave and things, I think a lot of it stems from how I was brought up. My mom always, and I can give a bit to my background, I didn't really have much growing up. So I was never someone who could give, if that makes sense. Like out of my friendship group, I couldn't give much, but I could always be there. My mom always said to me, the best thing you can give someone is your time. So, and I think we've worked so well together and we've learned in that way is because you also feel the same. Like I've seen your love language is quality time.
Yeah.
And when we say love language, you're not talking about romantic relationships. It's just how you build. I did the face. It's how you build relationships, you know? And I'm the same. So seeing people, being around someone, even if we're doing nothing. And I think like from my side, especially like in terms of guidance, understanding how to go through things, I think Rudes has done a massive, like a service, if one can say, towards me in terms of making me understand how things work, you know, how to handle myself, having gone through stuff that I've gone through maybe, and having someone to kind of look up to that's older than me, while still having that friendship where it's not like I'm here and he's here. It's just, it's someone who I know has more experience than me that then gives me an idea of how can I do things, you know? And then also knowing that even if I'm older, like as I get older, and I'm going to get to your age in 6 years,
But then I'll be older.
but then you'll be older. But
Bugger.
I always felt I had to have my life sorted out by about 27, right?
He's not far off, by the way.
Far
The
from-
baby face says different.
I'm not far from that, and my life will not be sorted out by then. And I think that's a big thing. A lot of young people
Just
today.
to pause there. Tats, how old are you? Tats is 39. And I can
grandfather.
guarantee you, he doesn't have his life in order.
No, but
so
exactly.
That's just to put perspective on this. And I'm 31. I definitely don't have my life in order. So if you feel that your life's not in order at 35, at 40, guys,
Exactly.
we will. I think just to put clarity on that.
But that's
you
where
don't
I was
have
going.
to.
That's
We don't have
actually
to,
where I
yeah.
was going. So growing up, and I think a lot of people that grow up now see the Instagram lifestyle, see all this money and all this fame and think, I need to have my life sorted. And I had the same type of mentality. Not the rich fame part, but to be sorted. And as much as Rudi might take it as a detriment, meeting him and understanding that he doesn't have everything together, but he's very successful. And understanding that it won't be together. As a matter of fact, most people don't have it together.
No.
I don't know anyone who has it together.
No.
It doesn't work like that.
Not in this day and age.
Exactly. It doesn't. Even those people you see on Instagram, they don't have it together, man. Like, I know some people like that. They don't have it together. And it was so important for me in terms of a mindset shift
Yeah.
to understand how that works, and then to just be appreciative of every single day. Like, as much as Ruse likes to complain, he's appreciative of every single day. He appreciates everyone who does something for him. And I like to try and mirror that because I'm not as outgoing in that sense. I appreciate everything, but I'm not a person who will talk. I generally just be like, oh, yeah, cool, thanks. Like, that's my thing. But Ruse has shown me, like, how to be more empathetic at times with people, how to conduct myself in certain situations, you know, and just overall just being someone that I also know is always there for me. I've only ever had one or two friends that I can say the same thing that I can say about Rudi about. Maybe, and if I don't include Kelly, then one person that I've had my whole life that I know no matter what, they're there.
Yeah.
So that makes it two. And being friends with Rudes also showed me that having a small circle doesn't mean that you don't have a good friend circle.
Yeah.
You know, having a small circle, you can have 3 friends and they can give you everything that you need because those are your friends. And
Yeah.
I feel like I surround myself with people who are better than me in certain things, and that's how I grow. And I think I've grown since I've become friends with Rudes because he's better than me in those aspects. So Rudes, like, I really appreciate everything that you do for me, the sacrifices you've made for our friendship, maybe some of the other friendships you've had to sacrifice because of me. You know how it goes. Sometimes people are like that. But again, like, holistically, I just think the friendship is beneficial mutually.
Mm.
And I've always felt that. And that's why it works so well, at least in my opinion. You know?
I appreciate that, boy. Like, that is... it's very hard to actually hear someone talk about you.
Right? I was standing this like...
Like, it's actually really hard to hear someone talk about you and go, you know, you're this and you're that, and it's an opinion. Because you always try and... I think you try and have and make sure that... I mean, you want people to think good things of you. You don't want to be like, when someone walks out, you thinking they're going, no, that absolute prick is
And the
left.
thing is, you know, there's people...
And yeah, there is.
The worst part is, and sorry, Ruz, I don't mean to cut you off at all, but I know, okay? And if anyone's watching this that knew me when I was younger, okay? That is what nearly everyone thought about me.
Yeah.
And there's still people who think like that about me, but what you've taught me is that that's fine.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't care. I care about the people who like me, and if you surround yourself with that positivity, you will be happier. Yeah. And obviously at times, and that's why the M.A.N podcast exists, we let that negativity in, but that's why having good friends around you is important.
Yeah, and you said something that was like, it hit me, and I saw Tats's reaction as well, is you don't need a big friend circle to have a quality friend circle. It doesn't even have to be a circle. Even if you only have one other person.
A line.
And you guys are walking the same path, have the same vision, have the same ideas, the same thoughts, the same faith, whatever it is. Or even if you don't, but you're still walking that path together. I think there's so much in that to say that you need one person. You don't need... If you are blessed that you surround yourself with 10 really close... You know that you are super blessed.
Yeah.
Like, you are super blessed. Because I was in a position where I thought that I must have been about 22, 23. So I had put myself in a circle. So let me put context, okay? So I was with a girl toward the end of my high school career. And then first 2 years after I started studying. We broke up, and I sort of didn't know where to go from here because I didn't have the friend circle that I had in high school. I only had the friend circle that we had sort of created. But I'm the type of person that, let's say you break up or something ends, you can't still sort of be involved with people. The friend circle, I had to make a clean cut because I couldn't go... Because for me, I associate people with memories created. That's the type of person I am. So if I see you, I see memories. I mean, I can... And the same thing with Tats. Like, Tats will not remember this. I remember the first time I saw Tats.
I'm watching his reaction.
So Tats was... And I kid you not. So I was at Old Parks Cricket Club. I then was told by one of my mates, no, come over to Randburg, come have a season there. And I had been there already. And now they were like, no, come back. So I went back in and I walked into the bar. And at the bar, there was the sign-in sheets for the new season and whatnot. I signed in, and as I walked out, Harry, Tats, Tabani, and I think Ola was sitting there as well. I think. And they were sitting outside there having a beer. And they were like, oh, Rudi, what are you doing here? Type thing. And I was just like, I knew everyone except Tats. But then Tats sort of just joined in. He just joined in the abuse. And I'm going, who the hell?
He gets mad at us for giving him abuse.
But anyway, so I'm like, okay, I can handle this. Like, he's giving it, I'll let him give it. And then I sort of just took it, and then I found out, okay, the Soak's name's Tats. So when I see him now, it's Tats. So I remember, so I'm like, okay, cool. But I'm just going to wait for my opportunity because I know I was told that the team that I played with, there was a Tats in it. And I remember playing the first game. It was a praise game. And Tats was in my team. And it's amazing how the appreciation changed that when he got his first wicket, it took a wicket keeper to catch it. Oh. And I know the wicket keeper.
Was his name Rudi? Oh, his name was
and
Rudi.
Then the abuse I got became complete admiration because it wasn't a great ball. It was down leg. The guy tried to pull it, and I took a screamer with my left hand, diving down, and he okay. So I'm just telling you. So just something I've actually kept this for a long time in the bank. I've kept this. So that's sort of where our friendship started because now then after the game he's like, oh my boy, and I'm his boy because I took a catch because he wasn't getting wickets any other way in that game. But at the same time, like the quality of that friendship that we had we didn't speak for a long time. And then through COVID, you know, I started. Obviously, that was when he decided to start, you know, the podcast, because that's. I mean, everyone had to have a pastime. So then he started the podcast, and then I was like, well, I was watching gamers, you know, podcasts and whatever, and I was like, that's Tats. So this is a man I know. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I started watching a few, and then I was like, but no, he won't want me on that. He doesn't want to talk to me. He doesn't want to talk to me. And then I was like, and I'll be honest, then I saw he interviewed Ashley.
Yes, I remember. We had this conversation.
And I'm like,
straight after you interviewed Ashley, we had this conversation.
And I won't lie, there was a bit of
envy,
jelly juice,
envy,
whatever.
Not jealousy.
And I'm like,
that was envy.
I'm like, no. So then,
what about me?
Then Tats will confirm this. I was like, I need to start a conversation with Tats that makes him feel that he should invite me to the podcast, and I did. So I knew. So I was like, okay. Let me tell him about the book I'm writing, because he'll take interest in that. So I'm like, hey bro, you know, doing great work on the podcast, which I'd messaged him about before, but then I sent him like, have a look at the book that I'm writing, and then he was like, why don't you come talk about this on the podcast? I'm like, Tats, I didn't even think of that. Oh, that's such a good idea. And I'm like, why didn't I think of that?
Oh my gosh.
Like, he's
that's
such
a great idea.
He's a smart man, eh? So
I
look,
think that I'm smart. Thanks, man.
He's obviously done a Dale Carnegie course.
yeah. So anyway,
How to win friends and influence people,
okay,
maybe.
So obviously then we got into it, and we chatted for quite a while before it actually transpired. Like before the first podcast where I came on with him, like we planned for one, didn't happen. We planned for another, it didn't happen. And then eventually, I think we both thought it wasn't going to happen. I'll be honest. But then there was a day that he just phoned me. And he was like, hey, dude, how you doing? And I'm like, hey, Tats, like, what's up? He's like, you know, we still haven't done that podcast. Because he can become quite irritating, but in a nice way, in a caring way, that he's just checking in. So he's like, so when's it going to happen? And I'm like, I don't know. He goes, well, what are you doing this evening? And I'm like, Tats. He goes, Rudi, and he literally started with, I'm also coaching until 6. Because that was going to be my excuse.
And he knew.
He's like, I'm also coaching until 6. He said, go home.
He gave you no choice.
He told me, go home, eat something, have a shower, and I'll see you at 8. And I'm like, okay. But now I've got to mentally prepare, and I'm like, so what are we going to talk about?
How do you think I felt?
Yeah, but anyway.
Okay.
This is not about you.
I'm just saying, no, he's
This is
going,
about
I have
us.
to mentally prepare for a podcast. How
This-
much time do you think I was given for the last episode?
This is about us and me.
Just need 1 hour, man.
Anyway, he literally told me, this is what we're talking about. I was like, I don't think I can add any value to this one. And literally, I was like, I can't add any value. So then he sat me down like he did with you earlier. And he's like, just relax. And now I've got Pumza coming in and changing the lights and this is the mic, and I'm going, I can't do this. And Tats is just acting like this is normal.
Yeah.
But what it goes down to, and this is what I go back to, is like Tats is the type of person, like he acts like a clown and whatever, but he adds such a care factor to me in my life, to show like his care for his friends is like crazy. So like the what you said about me and how I've shown you that, maybe because I'm older to you, because he's like a fossil and I'm like a young stallion. He's done the
Then
same
what
for
would
me.
I be? Just a baby.
Just a baby. Just a baby. So like no, but jokes aside, like Tats has done that for me. Like he really has. He showed me like that value, and you said earlier that your friendship doesn't need to be big. And he showed me that value is only literally can only be a phone call away. Where I thought adding value to someone's life has to be going out there and doing something. He does so much from a phone call.
Yeah.
Like I'm genuine. I genuinely say that. Like, he can do so much just from a 5-minute phone call, just a check-in. And I was like, if he can do that for me, like I want to do that. And that's why, like you know, I literally, there's not a day that goes by like I won't phone him. Like and it's not because of anything else that I'm trying to. Yes, I want to wake him up early because he likes to sleep late, but it's just to show that care factor, because I've learned it. Like you said, you learned something from me. I learned something from him, where I want to show that there is genuine care. That I want to show that there's a person there that'll be there for anything, that not just the beer, not the party, to see Tristan, how are you? Tristan, are you okay? To the conversation that we had the night before where you go, he's going through this at work, and I go, did you sort that out? Not because I'm following up, not because I'm going, checking that he did his homework. I'm going, I just want to check that he knows that I care enough about him, that I listen to what he says, and I'm checking in, because there's that care factor that I want to have, that he's shown me is something that's in a friendship. And it's the same thing with Tats. I mean, that's why if we don't message, I think it's normally our quiet days is Sunday, there's never a chat. Monday latest, by 4 o'clock, if there's no conversation by Monday to say what's happening this week. And sometimes we'll talk Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just talk. And then on Thursday, we're like, okay, Rudi, we've got to plan something here. So I think that sort of care factor to show that, that check-in for me counts so much. And that's what Tats has added to my life, in that perspective, to say, you said it, you don't need to have time or give money or do anything. You just be around, give time, because that is, at the end of the day, that's all we have.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that you can't earn more of. We can't earn more time. It's not like that movie with Justin Timberlake, if you've seen it. It's literally called In Time. And you got a time clock on your arm, and you can earn more, and the currency is time. We don't have time. We've got our clock is set. We're an hourglass, and once the last
grain of sand
there's no drops of sand has fallen, we're done.
Yeah.
And whatever faith you believe in, God has a plan for you, and He knows when you're coming and when you're going.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer in that, and I know that both you and Tats were put in my life for a positive reason. I know that both you and Tats were put in my life not to be sort of a chapter, and I can confidently say that you're not a chapter. You're one of the main characters. You might have only met you later in the book, but you're going to be there at the end of the book.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say that, and I think that speaks so much to the value that I have on both you, and maybe it also puts you on a pedestal that you guys have to live up to, which I hope not, because you guys do it so well. Both of you do it so well. And at the end of the day, I really appreciate absolutely everything that both of you do for me in my life. And for me, appreciation is the number one thing that you look for in a friendship.
Yeah. Yeah.
One, you want to feel appreciated. And two, you want to make sure that your friends know that you appreciate them.
Yeah. And that's important. I don't think we show our friends. I mean, look, some of us do it in our own ways, but I don't think we intentionally, like now what we've done now and we're talking, intentionally show an appreciation to our friends. And I don't think people do that enough. And actually going back to something, and first of all, Rudi, we appreciate you too and everything that you do for us. I'll speak on behalf of Tats because I'm sure he feels the same. You add so much value.
No. He's saying no.
Nah,
he's so mean.
See, we're trying to be nice, and he wonders why we
please
shoot him the whole time. You're being nice. And you add so much value to everything that you do, and everything that you do with us, you add value to our lives. And it's very important to both of us that you understand that, and that you know that we want you around all the time, and that we appreciate you. And yeah, that I at least want to say that before I carried on. But there was something that you said earlier, and you were talking about people being around for a short amount of time and like letting go of people during COVID. And what's his name? Fox, the actor. Fox, his surname is Fox. No, sorry, I got it wrong. It was, I can't remember the guy's name now, but I can see his face, okay?
That helps them.
No. I know it doesn't help
That
them.
helps the viewers so much. It's the guy with the face, guys.
It's not Jamie Foxx. It's another guy.
From Back to the Future.
No, but anyway.
Michael J. Fox.
No, it's not. Don't worry, it's not Fox. I got it wrong in my head.
You said Fox!
I said I got it wrong. I said no, it's not
We needed a little pickup here of what the Fox saying.
Yeah, it can literally just be there. That's my brain trying to go. But anyway, it actually is disgusting that I forgot the Cirque's name now because he's really good. But he kind of had a speech. I don't know if it was the Oscars or at the Globe Awards or whatever. It was one of those awards. And he kind of spoke about people being in your life for a season. And you need to appreciate those people because even that season they were in form part of who you are. So even if some people are there forever, some people will be there forever, but other people are there at a time for a reason. And that shapes us into who we are. So I appreciate all of those people that have been in my life, whether they were negative or positive influences, because without them, I wouldn't be who I am. And I think everyone at home should just take a second to realize every ex, every weird guy that you were friends with for some weird reason when you couldn't find yourself, every type of person like that was there for a reason and shaped you into who you are. Not every part of a car is perfect. Mm-mm. Yet the car runs perfectly with those parts. And that's what makes up us. So, like you were saying, yes, some people are not there. Appreciate them, though. As much as they hurt you, they taught you a lesson. And that lesson has stuck with you forever. Without them, you wouldn't have that. So, I thought about that when you were saying that. And it's important that people understand that. And, yeah, I mean, friendships in general, I think, shape who we are a lot more than any other relationship does.
Yeah.
I think very often we talk about how parents mold kids, but I think friendships mold people.
I think from the perspective of gents, like that's more like, because I can't talk on behalf of a female in the same sort of position where she talks to one of her girlfriends. But it is really, really, really a big part of a guy's, and I know for us, you know, your boys are such a big part of your life. Like they are. I mean, yes, we love our wives dearly. Girlfriends, wives. We love our partners dearly. You know, we do. We love them dearly, but at the end of the day, like, that's the person you go to bed with in the evening. You wake up next to in the morning.
Yeah, that's your person.
That's your person. But outside that connection, where, men are extremely social beings.
Yeah.
We are very social. We act like we can take a knock on the cheek, but we can probably take a rock to the head, but let one of your good friends just say something nasty, we are crumbling.
Yeah.
And we don't say it, but that's why there's that aggression or that lashback, because you're so hurt by something that was said or something that happened. But you play funny games and you like punch each other and, you know, slap each other and you're like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
But let that person say something, you absolutely crumble. And I know, because there's a few times where I've been in friendships where, like, my mates have said something and I don't think they knew, and maybe, I guarantee they didn't, because they're not malicious. They said something, but I took it so personally. Like, I took it super personally, and it actually broke me down and it made me rethink of the type of person I am. And when I sort of raised it with them at some point, or got the courage, and maybe sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't.
They probably didn't even
They were like,
recollect it.
no, dude, that's not how it was. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you don't understand the turmoil you put me through
Yeah.
for the last week and a half, because we overthink. We do.
Yeah.
As
we
men,
like the
we literally
SpongeBob
process.
meme.
You lay in bed at night, you're like, Tristan said that.
Yeah, and it's like
And
the
I want-
SpongeBob meme,
yeah.
where they're running through their head with the fire. That's literally like how it feels. Someone says something, you like trying to figure out why, what, how, because like Ruz was saying, and I didn't mean to cut you off, apologies. Sometimes it comes from Rudi, and because I know him for being who he is, he says that, and you straight like, whoa, like that's crazy. And then when you go home, it's trying to find where does that come from, and then you blame yourself, and then like Ruz saying, you go in a spin.
Yeah. So so obviously I went through that a few times,
Yeah.
and I'm like, damn, like, am I a horrible person? And then you confront them, and you're like, no, I was just joking, or it wasn't. I'm like, I didn't feel like it was a joke. So it just goes to show you, like, you know, and your friends are, like you said, seasonal. And I actually didn't think of it like that. That yes, you know, I always saw it as, and like I said, I'm the type of person, I cut. So not that I cut and I didn't like that part, but I move on. I did not. I have not, and I'm starting to do it now. Like, my brain's going crazy right now. Going, I do appreciate the friendships I've had in the past, and it makes me think of another person once told me, is like, when you look at a pet will not outlive a normal person. They are literally a short chapter in your life, a short chapter in your book. But you are their entire book. And you don't know for that person, let's say that person was just a chapter in yours. They could have passed away 2-3 months later not knowing about it. So you were the final chapter in their book. So that, like, you got to think back and go, okay, I do. And I do appreciate the things that I learned. I mean, I learned a lot of things. I learned some really good things of how to hold friendships, of what makes good friendships, how to create memories with new friendships, what not to do in the friendships, what to avoid, what to try and make sure that this doesn't happen in that friendship. So you're very right in that those people that might have been small parts of your life are really important. They mold you as a person. And I've got a lot. So I just want the viewers here, take some time. And I'm not saying sit and dwell on the past, but I'm just saying cherish those memories that you created with those people. Because like Tryston said, that is what created you. And the friendships that you have now, I hope that they are the forever friendships. That when one of you pass away, that person is going to be talking at your memorial and telling you that you were their best friend and you were a great person for this and this and this reason. I really hope that for you. And comment who that person is for you. Leave a little comment down below and tell us who's your person. Who are your people? That's your circle. And if you want to have a shout out to a person that sort of molded you or gave you direction or whatever, give them a shout out too. Let us know. Communicate with us. And I firmly I thank you for that. Like to be able to now think back and go, geez, there's some incredible people in my past that have really molded me to the area that I've gone, to the place that I am in now, the passion that I have. Yeah. So thank you for that, Trist.
No, it's a pleasure, man. Anytime. I mean, like I said, I think about everything holistically. So oftentimes I'll come up with these random nuggets of wisdom. But yeah, I think it's really important, again, like you said, about all of that. But I actually wanted to know. So, okay, for those of you at home, I'm also friends with Ashley, who has been on the show before. So I actually wanted to hear from Rud how he and Ashley met, because I've never heard that story. And I know Ashley's a really good friend to both of us. And I know Ashley has a great memory. So I would like to hear from Rud, and we'll backtrack this with Ash and see if he remembers. I don't know
Okay,
why I came.
I remember. I remember. I'm gonna make this quick.
I'm very interested.
So we'll make this. I'm gonna make this super fast. So I remember. So I was playing for Rambo cricket team. He was at Old Parks, but he was always one of the guys that was back at Ramburg after a cricket game. He was super red in the face because he never wore sunscreen. He was sitting on the side of the cricket field and he always had beer. And I'm like, does this okay have a life? He's always at the cricket and he's always got beer. So literally that is how I met Ash, where he was this guy that wasn't in the club but was friends with everyone. He knew everyone. I don't know if that's when you.
He does know everyone. He knows still. Everyone. He still knows everyone.
So that was like I was like, this guy like knows everyone, and he always was super red in the face, and like super sunburned, and had a beer. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we met a few times, we chatted a few times, and I must be honest, at the time I didn't give him a second thought, because at the time I wanted to take my cricket seriously, and I was like, this guy's drinking. Like I didn't mind having a beer, but he was always drinking. So I'm like, I don't want to be around a person that's going to be drinking like that, because that's taking away from my professional cricket career. Because at the time I thought I was still going to be a professional cricketer. And
Number one,
Ramberg found me out. And I must be honest, I think it took my first club season playing men's cricket to realize I was like, okay, I'm not that good.
That's just laughing in the corner.
Did you go through the same thing? Yes, he did. He's nodding. Like I was like, I'm gonna make it. I'm like, I mean, the protest can't be that good. That's what I thought. I was like, they can't be that
Next
good.
thing.
And then I played like my first game. I was at one of my first games playing Prem, and I was opening against Koza on a green wicket, put it into bat, and I was like, I'm not good enough for this ball. I literally remember facing one ball, shaped back in, moved away, past the outside edge. It was actually so quick I couldn't even edge it if I wanted to. And I went, yeah, I'm not cut out for this high. But anyway, so Ash and I met there. We got to know each other, and then he was actually one of the people that when I moved across to Parks was there. He was the one that told me, why don't you come to Parks? Because I was having problems at the club. And that's where our friendship started, where he was like, come to Parks. It's different. And what that did wasn't necessarily the best move for me, but it created a friendship with him. So that's where we met, and I hope that he remembers it. You know, he did have beer, so he might not remember it. But yeah, that's where we met, and he has taught me a heck of a lot about myself in terms of where he was and where I was at the time, showing me that you didn't have to take, like for me, the biggest lesson he taught me was, I don't have to take the crap. Like, you don't have to. There is a way out. Okay? And I think for me, I don't know about you, but having that way out and showing that, and as he's done it now with his recovery from, or now he's a recovering alcoholic, that he showed me that there is a way out.
Yeah.
You can escape a lot of things. So to Trist, to you, I mean, we've been going for quite a few minutes now, just to wrap up here. Every friendship that I have and I want to have, everyone has influenced me. Ash, Tats, you, there's many others, and they're going through my mind right now. But I think it's so important to remember you guys, the people from the past, have all made an impact on all of our lives. You've got people in your mind, Tats has got people in his mind that we know have molded us and have been part of our lives to better us. And to those people, the viewers watching, thank you. If you're one of those people, and I know you are for someone, thank you. Thank you for being that person. And I really do hope that you know that you're appreciated the way that I was made. I really do feel appreciated about Tats, feel appreciated about Tristan for what they've said. There is someone that feels that way about you. And never forget that. You are appreciated for the things that you do and for the things you don't think you do. Because there was things that you said and I was like, wow, I didn't know I did that, but thank you for that. So just to you, thank you for coming onto the channel and now showing the face that we heard the voice to last week. Just a little goodbye.
Yeah, of course. Roots, thanks so much for having me on. Tats, thanks for letting me into your home and into the studio.
And sitting there doing nothing.
And sitting there looking at us, laughing, doing whatever it is he's doing. Now he's doing charades, I don't know. And to the listeners and viewers at home, thank you so much. Again, if you've gotten to the end of this, please like and subscribe. It means a lot to the guys, and it means a lot to me that you guys watched. And yeah, again, I feel really appreciated, Roots, and thanks so much for having me.
Okay, guys, I'm going to end it the way Tats did it to me on my first podcast. Tristan, a wise man once said,
every single person in your life has made you who you are today.
There's so much power in that. Mind blown. And Tats has said that. Guys, thank you so much. We love you lots. Have a great weekend. And as Tats always says, TGIF, enjoy it. Cheers, guys.